Hi, my name's Eva. I'm making this video for my friend Tim's blog. Me and Tim met at my casa, I guess 2-3 weeks ago now. I'm Canadian. I've come over to teach a YTT, a yoga teacher training in Thailand. And it's funny, the night that we met, I was going to yoga class with my friend Anna, and we ended up running late and missing the class. Walked down to do our own practice on one of the beautiful cliffs, and that's where we met Tim. We got talking because both of us, a lot of our work is really grounded in anxiety and transforming anxiety into freedom. So yeah, that's where my yoga practice started from. When I was 15, I really was struggling with anxiety, actually even from the time I was 13, having panic attacks, and this continued even when I had a good yoga practice, even when I was teaching yoga well into my early 20s. But yeah, that was it. My stepmother got me a yoga mat for my 15th birthday to try to get me into it, to really manage stress and anxiety. And it was just the perfect connection for me. So I stuck with it. I did my teacher training when I was 17, and then continued to study in university and to study yoga. Went to India, and then when I came back, my anxiety was actually the worst. And it was the worst when I thought my life was at its best. I had a good relationship and a beautiful home, and I was running a yoga studio, and I had everything I ever wanted, and I was so anxious I couldn't get out of bed. And yeah, at that point I actually started seeing a psychotherapist who really helped me. But I was also, my doctor was really, really pressuring me to go on anti-anxiety medication, and this, not that I had any judgment or any, I don't have any bad or negative feelings about it for anyone who this does work for, but this was just, I knew, not the right connection for me. So I knew that in my yoga practice and in my breathing, I had a lot of ability to recalibrate this stress. And I started to direct my studies as a yoga teacher into, how can we use our yoga practice, our breath, our posture to rewire these feelings of anxiety in the physical body, in the mind, and the nervous system. So I started going more into restorative yoga, studying a little bit more stress, anxiety, nervous system, and then it was the work that was most meaningful for me. So I started developing workshops, and I was invited to schools to teach, how we can use these techniques to work with stress for kids and teenagers. And then I was asked by the Canadian Mental Health Association to develop a program for our local clients who were struggling with anxiety, and it went really well. But the thing I was learning in the process is that you couldn't just take a really anxious person and stick them in a still restorative yoga pose and expect that they're going to feel fine there. When we have all this restlessness, all this urgency, all this kind of frenetic energy in the body. So I started realizing that a little bit of breath and movement in the beginning of the class was really, really helpful to just work out some of this restless energy. And then I bring in a little myofascial release, a little bit of self-massage techniques with rubber balls. And I find that that's really, really helpful for just releasing our tension. When we're stressed and tense, we get more physical tightness in the body. And because the body feels physically tight and confined, that actually creates more feelings of stress. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. I really love the work of Bo Forbes. That's this idea that anxiety and depression are disorders of disembodiment. Inherently in those moments, we're disconnected to the body, and we're really quite lost in the space of the mind. When we come back directly into the presence of the body, that helps to bring us back to this place of calm and connection. We feel more centered. So for me, the myofascial, the rubber ball techniques is some of the best way to get people there quite quickly. And then I always work in, at the end of the class, a little bit of restorative yoga. Restorative yoga is just completely designed to support the body, to hold you in a place of comfort where we're shifting out of our fight and flight responses and into our rest and digest. So this method I noticed was working quite well. And then I began to travel. I went over to work in the UK for a year, teaching yoga full-time. And now I'm somewhat just nomadic, but I had some clients through the Canadian Mental Health Association ask if I would develop a video series that taught that style of class, because I think they found it was really helping people. So that is what Stilling the Waves is. StillingTheWaves.com is my program I've developed of yoga for anxiety. In teaching yoga, I think it's really important not just to teach the how, but the why. Not only how to get people in and out of the pose, but also why do the pose or the breathing technique or whatever it might be. So you'll find I'm Stilling the Waves. The first 5 videos are just explaining to you how is it that my breath, or my posture affects my state of mind. How is it that we can look at yoga and anxiety while incorporating some of the traditional yogic philosophy that could teach us about dealing with anxiety as well. So the first couple of videos are all just kind of informational or educational content. And then we have full-length classes. There's 5 videos that are between 40 minutes up to almost an hour long. And these are practices that you can do at home in your living room, more or less with what you have. Blocks, bolsters, these things really help for restorative yoga, and you do need a tennis ball. But there's a lot we can just do with these basic things. And then the last couple ones are just miniature practices that you can do whenever you're feeling anxious, but you don't have time for a full yoga practice. So little 5-minute videos that are just going to help bring you back to that place of calm when you need it the most. So that's the program that I've developed. It's based on my personal experience. It's based on my research as a yoga teacher, and it's really close to my heart as being where I've started from in yoga and the work that I'm most passionate about sharing. So if you or someone would like to specifically work with connecting your yoga practice to assist or to support your anxiety, maybe check it out, stillingthewaves.com. My name's Eva Hamilton. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Eva Maxine. My website is eva.yoga. Thank you so much. Namaste.